Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft2 Legacy of the Void and your Sunday series. Today, from Homestory Cup, we're going to have a best of 3 between Rogue and ShoWTimE from the group stages of that tournament. You guys, this tournament was incredible. I hope to cast many games from it in the days and weeks to come. Bottom left-hand corner of Cerulean Fall for game number 1. We have the red Protoss player from Arma Team and Germany. It is ShoWTimE. Now, ShoWTimE is the second highest rated player in the WCS standings, which, okay, to be fair, he's behind Serral, and Serral has all the points, and ShoWTimE has significantly less points, but is number 2 on that ranking nonetheless, and is the top rated Protoss player in the WCS standings. In the top right-hand corner, it is the blue Zerg player, Rogue. Winner of BlizzCon 2017, all-around incredibly terrifying Zerg player. He plays for Jin Air Green Wings, and he's going to give ShoWTimE all he can handle here today. So, this is played on the latest patch. This is, again, from Homestory Cup, which means that everything is the same. The Cyclone has been updated. We have seen some changes to Hydralisk attack speed, seen some changes to carriers in that Graviton Catapult has been removed. And what else is going on with Protoss? I'm trying to remember what else they've changed here. Adept, Immortal, Carrier, Archon, Dark Templar. I'm spacing. I swear they've changed something else. Something else for Protoss, but it can't be anything too significant. Okay, so Warp Gates immediately change to Warp Gates if you have Warp Gate researched and make a gateway. But that's more of a quality of life improvement for us lower level players, and I'm sure ShoWTimE does not care about that change at all. So, regardless, we're going to have to see how this thing goes between these two players. Very, very excited to bring you a ZVP for your Sunday. I hear you guys. I hear you. There's a lot of ZVT coming in. Go look at the brackets for Homestory Cup and show me how much ZVP there is and how much ZVT there is, and then we can discuss. There's definitely some TVP there too, but a lot of those games are short. In the entire Homestory Cup replay pack, I could find, seriously, the longest PVT I could find was maybe 14 or 15 minutes. There just aren't these incredibly long macro-style TVPs coming in. And I think a lot of that has to do with the redesigned Cyclone. It's very good against Protoss in the early game. It's very hard for Protoss to deal with. And it's problematic. And I think Blizzard's going to be addressing it here sooner rather than later. Anyway, ZVP, nothing else, really has changed all that much in this matchup. It's still my favorite matchup in all of StarCraft2. Have no complaints about it whatsoever. And I hope that you enjoy it as well, because you clicked on this video, again, for your Sunday series. Are you familiar with the Falcon Paladin Hour? It's a weekly podcast with me and Samacron. We talk about StarCraft, we talk about TV shows and movies and books and all that great stuff. Ooh, including, I just saw Into the Spider-Verse today. I'm casting this on Saturday. It's going to post on Sunday. And, oh man, it is such a great movie. Go see it. I'm not going to spoil anything. I don't make huge movie recommendations on the channel. You guys know that if you've been following me for any distance or any length of time, but Into the Spider-Verse, man, 2 thumbs up all the way. All right, and also the Falcon Paladin Hour. Go check that out. So it is going to be a Warp Prism here from ShoWTimE. Additionally, throwing up, what other tech is he going to have? This kind of feels like a big, maybe an Adept push, something along those lines. He does have a couple sentries here to deal with any early aggression from Rogue, but Rogue is sending some Zerglings out. He's not going crazy with those. He's preparing possibly for some eventual Adept harassments. But really, there's nothing else going on here. Where's your other tech, man? You don't just get Warp Prism and nothing else. Pylon, Overlord comes in, scouts, sees, maybe Immortal drops possibly here. It's a good scout from Rogue. It really is. He sees everything that is here. Sees a lack of a Stargate. It's not a Stargate opening at all, which means mutas are a potential thing for Rogue here. Honestly, if I saw this as a Zerg, I'd be like, thank goodness a Protoss who did not go Stargate first. I can finally make Mulisks and make them work. But no, actually, at this point, no, it's Roaches. At this point, Rogue's like, you know what? Roaches are fine. Let me get a Roach Warren down, and let me just scout this Warp Prism too. Yeah, these Lings are like, why don't you drop whatever's in this thing here? It's a single Stalker, mind you. The ability to warp an additional unit, obviously the big selling point on the Warp Prism. Otherwise, there'd be really no point to make them. They can only hold 4. Well, yeah, 4 Stalkers in there. Whole bunch of Zealots, which is kind of nice, but only 4 Stalkers is just not as great. I8. Roach Warren, Lair on the way here too. Probably some Roach Ravager style stuff out of Rogue. But man, I don't know about this. We've got Immortals. Immortal production is continuing here. Another one on the way from ShoWTimE, and it's just Immortals are so good against Roaches. unquestionably incredible against roaches. Hallucinated Phoenix comes in and says, "Oh, Roach Warren, are you for real?" And yeah, Rogue says, "It's for real. I finished it. I didn't cancel that thing at all." Trying to drop some immortals down here and do some stuff, but the Ling count is a little bit too high, the Queen count a little bit too high. None of these things take extra damage from immortals, and as a result, the immortals are forced to flee. Creep spread by Rogue is pretty fantastic here. APM for ShoWTimE over 300. Same thing for Rogue. Ling's trying to come on down here. These sentries, though, yeah, you don't want to get involved here. This is where you get force fielded into a little circle and die if you're these Lings. Just don't try it, is what I'm trying to say. Definitely don't try it. I mean, you can maybe try to pick off, yeah, individual adepts, maybe. Oh, she does manage to transfer out. Good job by her. She's not dead, and that's all that really matters here. Here comes a Sentry Immortal Stalker push right now with a couple Zealots in from ShoWTimE. Army supply 45 to 53 in favor of the Zerg player, but a lot of that supply is back home in the Zerglings on the other side of the map. All right, Guardian Shield is up. That is such a pretty Guardian Shield. Roaches, Ravagers here, going to try to get some Corrosive Biles down. They miss on every one of their shots there. So I'm Link trying to get a wraparound on the backside here too. That does not work out for them, but additional warping of Zealots. Do they have charge? No, they do not, and it's not researching either here. A lot of gas has gone to all of these sentries, and that is the problem right now for Rogue. Tacking on in. Thinking about it. Good force fields. A couple of Ravagers stuck on the wrong side of the tracks here. Lings rolling on in, but just getting massacred by the Zealots and the sentries, which do pretty well against Lings in smaller numbers. Diving on in here again with the Corrosive Biles. Ooh, taking out a sentry there is Rogue. Pretty fantastic stuff. Guardian Shield up. Again, just being very patient is ShoWTimE. Corrosive Biles landing immortals on the low ground, attacking into the high ground. There's an observer in here spotting that high ground for ShoWTimE too, but this is the worst place for a Protoss army to be if you're a Zerg player sitting right on your front door. That said, reinforcements are coming in very fast for Rogue. Reinforcements still warping in for ShoWTimE. I just kind of feel like if he had charge, it'd be better for him here, but continuing to come down this ramp is Rogue continuing to get force fielded out, not using Corrosive Biles on the force fields at all. Nope, there we go. That's actually one that gets taken out. A Queen can't make it inside in time, unfortunately. Marching up this ramp is ShoWTimE. He is hurt. A lot of these units are wounded. Actually using more Corrosive Bile on the force fields, but there are so many of them. Where did those drones come from? Was there an attempted base over there? I didn't even know it was there, but that's entirely possible, you guys. There's been so much action right here at the bottom of these two ramps leading into the natural base and the third base of Rogue. Corrosive Biles continuing to miss entirely here or going after force fields, which are stationary targets. Ravager is actually going to kill a Stalker. Oh, Corrosive Bile finishes it off first. The Zealots need to be on their own control group. But that said, coming up here, and that is a good game. Wow, ShoWTimE. With 1-2 base push of a ton of sentries, a couple immortals, Stalkers, and non-charge Zealots, making it work here and getting a Game 1 victory against Rogue in an incredibly difficult best of 3. Well done by ShoWTimE. Way to show Protoss players everywhere what you are capable and what their race is capable of. Once again, I just feel like the response here from Rogue, which was Immortals, I'm gonna make roaches, was maybe not the correct decision to make. 21 kills and 22 kills on these Immortals. This one has 16. That's disgusting. What is exploding over here? Something's exploding over here. What an absolutely insane action sequence this is. Got drones fighting, you got Corrosive Biles lashing on in. Got something exploding in there, maybe a Zealot dying. That looks like a Zealot death animation, one of the few anyway. How about the sentries? 4 kills, 4 kills. Do they all have 4 kills? This is weirding me out. 4, 4, 4, and 2. Okay, so they don't all have 4 kills. That'd be kind of insane. But yeah, resources lost. Again, 7,900 for Rogue, 4,400 for ShoWTimE. Incredibly cost-efficient push here. The force field placement was just disgusting, too. It really was. Really forcing Rogue to use those Corrosive Biles on force fields instead of what he wants to use them on, which is these sentries, which is these Stalkers, which is these Zealots. But no, have to actually knock down force fields to get in here, and it doesn't matter. Just masterful opening here from ShoWTimE. Can he keep it up? I don't know. Let's go to Game 2. We're on Lost and Found, the latter edition. Rogue, bottom left-hand corner, he's blue. And then ShoWTimE in the top right, he is red. Whew! I am still shaking my head over that performance by ShoWTimE against Rogue here in game number 1. But no surprise. I'm not actually surprised because he beat Dark in a best of 3 at BlizzCon. So ShoWTimE has what it takes to hang with Koreans, even though he's from Germany. And Cyril showed us the foreigner-Korean divide is not as big as we thought it was, giving hope to foreigners everywhere. Still Overlord is scouting. Not probes. Okay, so probe scouting here is ShoWTimE. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. That's not how you probe scout. Are you? Maybe he is. Maybe he's just taking this way around. Instead of going down this way and up, he's going to go down this way and over. Although, I don't know. Why is he going? Looks like he's trying to avoid the path of this Overlord, which is a little bit sneaky here. Not like the Overlord can stop him or anything. I think he wants this probe to not be spotted until it gets here, but in this case, I mean, it is definitely spotted, right? Yeah, absolutely. Seeing it, and then comes onto the creep anyway. So he comes in and sees a hatchcast pool opening from Rogue. Pretty late pool. A little bit greedy here from Rogue, but again, as a Zerg player, it feels good. If you can get some greed in, really pump a few waves of drones out before you have to start making lings and stuff. That's why I play Zerg, is to just be like, oh, I just made 30 roaches, and I went and attacked with them, and I have enough money to make 20 more. This is fantastic. Got to keep your injects up. That's the trade-off with Zerg, is if you don't keep your injects up, it's not going to be able... I mean, you're not going to have any use out of that available money and income, right? Definitely not. Third base on the way from Rogue. And it's a cybernetics core from ShoWTimE. It is the safest. You know what I'm going to do here real quick? Is bump that up. I feel like our sound is a little bit lacking here. I have to balance it for casting on Twitch and casting on YouTube. Actually, yesterday, in case you missed it or didn't hear about it, I cast a show match for Infinity Gaming, where they did a show match between two Infinity Gaming players, a best of 5 between Denver and Goblin, and then there was a best of 7 team all-kill match between Infinity Gaming and Psionic Aftermath. It was really fun stuff, by the way. I might put a link to the VOD in the description if anybody wants to see it. That's me solo casting you guys at 6:30 in the morning. Or 6 a.m. is actually when I started. So if you want to check that one out, let me know. I'll put it in the comments, and you can go watch that over on Infinity Gaming's Twitch site. Hit them with a follow, too. I'll be casting for them about weekly. I know a lot of you guys don't like watching me on Africa when I cast over there. Also, the time is a little bit late. It's very late on the west coast of the United States. And as a result, Europe's kind of right out, and the east coast is out, too, of the U.S. But... this is a little bit better, you know, 8, 9 a.m. on the East Coast. Actually, some daytime awake hours in Europe is when the Infinity Gaming stuff is going to be happening. So, so check it out. It's going to be a Phoenix here from ShoWTimE. Does he already have an Oracle? No, but I think he's going to make one here after the Phoenix. It is the Phoenix Oracle pairing. I believe the first time I saw a pro player do this in a game that I cast was ShoWTimE. So I don't think he came up with a strategy. But just the lift the queen, kill the drones maneuver is very good, very strong, and ShoWTimE is a huge proponent of it. It is an Oracle on the way with the Overlord scouting in. Overlord is going to die, but gets a full scout off and everything that is happening here. Sees the Oracle coming in. You can see the Oracle building in kind of the in the bright lights down there inside the Stargate. This Oracle's name is Balrog, an AI transferred from a robotic body that looked like a giant bar of soap. Body slamming it is a bit harder now, but he's enjoying the pulsar beam. Oh, body slamming is a bit harder now. Okay. Is Balrog like a professional wrestler? Or I just know Balrog from Lord of the Rings. Anyway, moving on in. Got our Oracle. I love the scouting here. We got lings everywhere. Where's that Oracle coming in? We have Overlord scouting all different paths. An Overlord there. A Spore Crawler here. Queen ready to rock. Here comes the Phoenix. Here comes Balrog. And how many kills can we get is the question of the day. Do the Lings pick off a probe going for that third base? They might have. There's the lift, but additional queens are here, and that means you get out. I don't think you kill any drones. The extra queens that show up are definitely enough to shut this thing down. This is the key to surviving in the early game as a Zerg player, both against Terran and against Protoss. If you have a bunch of... You need to actually... Step 1, have a bunch of queens. Step 2, know where the attacks are coming and respond appropriately. Bring your queens to the edges of the creep where the attacks are coming in, and you're going to be just fine. However, if you miss, that's where things get more difficult, it turns out. Another Roach Warren on the way from Rogue. Feels pretty confident in his Roach Ravager style stuff. Had another Adept that died, or did she get out? What is our losses? 250 to 275. It looks like there have been some losses. Third base coming down. Adept and Oracle holding that line. Holding that front door. Phoenix wants to kill maybe as many Overlords as she can. She already has one. Why do I think Phoenix are female? I don't know. I think they're robots. I believe they are robots, but I call Oracles female too, and they're obviously robots, so I don't know. The line between robot and living being is a little bit thin sometimes with Protoss. It gets very confusing at times. Zergling here sees the Phoenix clouds. He's a whole bunch of Phoenix running around here from ShoWTimE. This is not just one. This is a whole bunch. And honestly, I just haven't seen this work against Zerg all that much in the games that I've cast in ZVPs recently. It just feels like the Zerg knows how to respond to this. Even if the Zerg ends up losing 10, 15 drones, they can come back from that just fine. So here comes the lift. A couple drones do go down. 2 happen here, but 2 spores firing is no joke, especially with Queen support there. 4 drones are killed, and again, Rogue is fine with this. He's up 62 to 55 in that worker count. Hydralisk Den coming in, and as long as you can avoid your Hydras kind of wandering out one by one single file when these Phoenix are flying around, you're going to be just fine. You just got to make sure you have enough Hydras to deal with it, right? If you show up with 4 Hydras against this, you will die because the lift and kill, the kill part of that does bonus damage versus light, and that's what Hydralisks are. Phoenix flying on in. Spore crawlers hitting. Bam, bam, bam. 7 drones have been killed in the last couple of minutes here. Still, 68 to 60 workers. That's what I would expect to see from Rogue. He's continuing to make drones to replace them, making 11 Hydras at once, though. Whereas we only have 6 Phoenix. Yeah, you can't lift all of those. You can't lift them all, and if you lift them all, then who's killing them at that point, right? I think the Hydras are going to be enough to shove this away. I like how these Hydras stayed close to the Spore. These ones are just trying to die, though. That said, they're pulling up to where the Spore is. They're a pretty good number. They don't have Grooved Spines yet, but I think that's okay for base defense anyway. Grooved Spines are usually something that you want to get if you're going to be aggressive with the Hydras. Defensively, it's not as useful, but again, it's the first thing we usually see Zerg players get. Overlord picked off on the left side there. Does not supply block Rogue. He's prepared for that. He knows there's Phoenix out. Going to lose a couple Overlords. Let's make some Overlords in preparation for that event. Immortals in production. Templar Archives in production from ShoWTimE. I'm liking this, man. Immortals, Storm possibly, Archons possibly. Ah, I saw the Infestation Pit. I thought it was just going to be a hive. That is 11 Swarm Host out of Rogue. Oh boy, 11 Swarm Hosts are hard to deal with. I've seen people in my Discord server, by the way, link to the description if you want to join a Discord server of some slightly insane people who really love memes and also love StarCraft. Come hang out with us. I'm there a lot of the time. But yeah, they have expressed some concerns about Swarm Host versus Protoss. What's the answer here? How do you kill them? Well, a lift and kill works actually pretty well. 1 down. Hydras trying to get here. The angles by ShoWTimE are so good, though. Not giving the Hydras any purchase there. The Phoenix are able to get out. We had a Shade on in, or a hallucinating Phoenix coming into the 3rd base. But 4th base is done. Not saturated yet, but there are some drones on the way based on that number 9 on that hatchery. And the Phoenix just buying some time, really keeping Rogue on his side of the base to this point. But that said, Rogue says enough is enough. 8 minutes is enough time. I have 177 supply. I've got Hydras. I have Swarm Host. It is time to go lifting and killing some of these drones at this 4th base. There's only a Spore and a Queen here, which does not look like it's enough. All right, man, here we go. Locust Swarm pretty big, and Immortals are so bad in this situation. Stasis wards are going to have to keep the Protoss player alive. There's your Storm. That was part of the answer. Oh, and there's your Stasis. Okay. All right, that's Stasis. I think more than half of that Locust Swarm, and by golly. And they time out. Oh, do they time out when they're in stasis? I don't think I knew that. Did I know that? I don't think I knew that. That's incredible stuff. That is amazing stuff. Stasis ward, okay? Hey, Alchemy, stasis ward. It's amazing. And then look, these guys are useless until their cooldown comes up 41 seconds later. They're ready to go now, though. Ready to rock. Surprise from the other side. And the Storm, oh, whiffs on the Hydras. Or you just run away, right? Maybe you pick off, like, a High Templar. Maybe. Maybe not even then. Oh, turns into an Archon. And is going to die. But yeah, these Locusts time out. I think they killed maybe something there. But pushing on up, Roach Hydra. Lings catching another Stasis Ward there and decide not to go up this ramp necessarily. Lift and kill on some of those Hydras. The Hydras are doing terrible damage to the Phoenix Ball, though. Phoenix Ball having a bad time there for sure. And then Rogue pushing on back. Well, pushing back, pulling back. Again there. Hey, guys. How you doing? Pretty good, thanks. They said we have charge. We also have +1 attack, which is nice. And here we go. charging on in. Gonna try to kill these queens first. Again, getting rid of additional larva production against Zerg is so good. And then killing drones is a good secondary target here as well. Zealots in amongst the trees, going after that Spire. Oh, they're gonna get the Spire. The Spire's trying to upgrade to a greater Spire. What bad timing for Rogue, and boom, does take down the Spire. Going for Broodlords is gonna slow down Rogue so much now. And bringing the whole army back to deal with these guys. What a beautiful warp in from ShoWTimE. It allows him to get the Protoss, the room that he needs to tech on up, to get another base going. And here it is. Oh, that's amazing, amazing. Another warp in here at Rogue's 5th base. And it looks like it might go down here too. Where are the Lings? Where are the Hydras? Where are the Roaches? I don't know, man, but these guys have +1 attack. They have +2 now, and they force a cancel. All right, so Corruptors are out. Rogue did manage to get some Corruptors out before he lost his Spire. He's making another one. It is almost done. Oh, Orc Prison, ouch. More Locusts coming on into the front door and largely getting slaughtered there. I'm not sure they're trading efficiently. I mean, okay, for Locusts to trade efficiently, it's not that hard because they are free. I understand that, but you still want to get some damage done with them, or it's just a complete waste of time. Revelation down. Corruptors, there's really no answer to Corruptors here. For ShoWTimE, unfortunately, he's making some Stalkers, but yeah, it's not working out. I mean, the sentries can kind of tickle the Corruptors to death. Ooh, careful with that. Careful with them Locusts landing on top of your head. This really just keeps ShoWTimE zoned out, is what it does. ShoWTimE is going for Fleet Beacon here. We have a bit of a Corruptor attack flying on into this 4th base. Oh, where are the cannons? There are some Stalkers. Here's another Stalker warping into the main base. What are you trying to caustic spray, guys? You have a plan. I mean, you had one, I guess, something in mind. I can't imagine Rogue was just scouting with those guys, but he did end up scouting the Fleet Beacon. So, hey, maybe he was. Yeah, Stalker's ready to go. That bonus damage versus Armored is really, really good because Corruptors are armored units. Sneaking down this way is ShoWTimE. Can he? He's taking out some creep tumors. He's announcing his intentions and his presence here. And Rogue, I think, is going to lose his 5th base for the 2nd time in this game. Locusts are here. Locusts are ready to go on the 3rd base of ShoWTimE. Cannon down. And then the Nexus is going to fall here too. Boy, that DPS is amazing. Really, really good. But yes, is going to go ahead and take down that 5th hatchery after it finishes building. Storm chasing these Hydras away. Another hatchery goes down. It is 2 for 1 right now in favor of ShoWTimE. Excellent, excellent job by the Protoss player. Marching on in against these Hydras. Not worried about them at all. Storm is ready to rock. But again, here come the Swarm hosts. They're lurking in that top right-hand corner. They are not ready to go yet, but now they are. And coming right into the natural base. This feels like maybe a come in and recall type situation. A lot of drones going down here. This is amazing positioning from ShoWTimE. This is where he wants to live, but the Locusts are present. Storm on those guys as they land. They are getting stormed, and as they fly too. And you know what? They're not doing as much, I think, as Rogue wanted them to do. Marching up and taking out. Oh, but the Broodlords are here. What? Rogue managed to rush to Broodlord after losing his Spire what seemed like 30 seconds ago, and it has really paid off here. That said, the 3rd base by Rogue is gonna fall here too. The Broodlords can't stop it from happening. Stalkers in trying to fight amongst the weeds. They really need to focus down the Broodlords. Those are the biggest threat right now. But losing the natural base, losing the 3rd base, ShoWTimE has done terrible amounts of damage to Rogue here in game number 2. Zealots trying to get into the main base. There are Hydras and Lings waiting for them, though. And 21 drones have gone down. It is 72 to 53 workers. ShoWTimE did not replace his 4th base during that whole thing. He was too busy warping in units. I think he might have thought he was ready to go. He was ready to go win that thing, but Broodlords showed up. Locusts are now rolling into this 4th base of ShoWTimE. There's a cannon, but it can't heal through Locust DPS. It is so good, you guys. Zerglings catching these Stalkers. They're not actually microing all that much. Oh, man. The Corruptors. Can they get a caustic spray off on that 4th base? That would be so, so good for them. Oh, can they catch a Tempest? Oh, my gosh. The Tempest production is here, but a Tempest is gone. If you can keep that Tempest count low, your Broodlords are going to be a lot better than they otherwise would be. That said, where the heck are the Broodlords? 5 of them. And here they are. Here they are in the middle of the map. Here goes nothing. Locusts rolling on down. The Stalkers are trying to pick whatever they can out of the sky, but no! The Tempests are gone. More Locust attacks at the 4th base. Shield batteries out. Pylons out. It is just chaos everywhere right now for ShoWTimE. Flying on in and taking out, I'm not even sure what that was, over that 4th base of ShoWTimE. But pulling back is Rogue. The Corruptor trying to find something he could take down. Honestly, there's really nothing to oppose them except a couple Stalkers. Oh, they can Caustic Spray that base before they all die. And there it is. He recognizes, yeah, I'll lose a couple Stalkers here, but that's a fair trade. Oh, he doesn't. He doesn't want to take it down. He hurts it, obviously. Caustic Spray is damaging. But in the meantime, Rogue has, let's see, he's replaced this 4th base. He hasn't replaced his 3rd, and his Greater Spire is actually bleeding right now. That is not fantastic for him. 164 to 178 supply. It feels pretty darn even at this point. That said, the Broodlords, I don't know if there's an answer for these for ShoWTimE, especially considering the fact that there was enough Corruptors to wipe out any Tempest that show up. Good Storm there. Great Storm there, actually, on the Locust. And did he lose? I don't think he lost much of anything there to those. They're hard, right? It is hard to not lose anything to that. But man, ShoWTimE is good enough to do that thing here. He needs to kill these Broodlords. He needs to blink under them. But the problem is there are so many Hydras on the ground. If you blink under there, you just die. The Storm's chasing the Hydras away. And they do run away faster than the Broodlords can move. Broodlords are slow and ponderous, but more and more keep popping all the time right now. ShoWTimE is trying to take a base in the bottom right-hand corner. I think it's getting accidentally spotted here by these Overlords, which I don't think they knew there was a base there, but they certainly do now. And some Zerglings rolling in. Can they take down this base? Oh, the already injured 3rd base. And you know what? No. Oh, they do get it. Just kidding. There's like 3 Zerglings left. But they get the Nexus. That hurts. That hurts immensely. Female Carrick says. That's what Carricks sound like, actually. Once again, Locust here. This composition by Rogue is weird, but I think it's working. He's got Locusts, he's got Broodlords, he's just going free units and Hydras with some Corruptor support here against ShoWTimE's very expensive, very splash damagey army. Is it enough though? Man, the Storms on the Hydras are just eating it right there. That said, how many Stalkers are left? The Stalkers need to take down the Broodlords if they can. They are not doing it, unfortunately. They're trying to take down Broodlings, which is just a losing battle altogether. There's the blink. One Broodlord goes down. Another attack, another Broodlord. No, too many Broodlings. Too many Broodlings. He needs Stalkers is what he needs, but ShoWTimE is absolutely starving for minerals right now. Archon's in here trying to fight, and sure they're good. Sure they're good against these Broodlings and these Lings, but eventually you're just getting it worn down. Slowly worn down here. This base is ready to rock for ShoWTimE. He's transferring some probes down there. Question is, will they make it? Yeah, 3rd base is toast. 4th base is up and running here for ShoWTimE. He is just on his heels right now. He doesn't have an answer to the Broodlords. It was Tempest, but Rogue was able to get enough Corruptors out first. I have not seen Broodlords have this much free reign in a ZVP in a very long time. Usually this happens. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Right here. Where Broodlords just wha-bam, 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 get taken out. Hydra's getting killed here too. Only 3 Broodlords remaining, and so many Immortals. Only got 31 kills, 32 kills, 37 kills, 47 kills on these Immortals. And a lot of these, sure, are Broodlings. A lot of these are Locusts. But you know what? Another Broodlord down. Another Broodlord down. Just barely catches it. The Locusts coming on in. The Stalkers need to stay alive. What an absolutely bananas game this is. Roaches wandering in to ShoWTimE's attempt to secure a 5th base down this bottom right. The Immortals show up. The Roaches are forced to flee from that location. Long distance mining from where his 3rd used to be is ShoWTimE, and his 4th base is oversaturated. Meanwhile, Rogue has retaken his 5th. He hasn't bothered retaking his 3rd or his natural, strangely enough, but he does have this base in the top left that does show. Oh, ShoWTimE doesn't know this exists. ShoWTimE doesn't know it exists. He doesn't know that the 4th base is back too, problematically. And yeah, these Immortals versus Zerglings, no. Versus Hydras, no. Versus Formhosts, no. It's not going to happen. The Stalkers are wandering on in. They're going to try to kill what they can here. You know what? They'll get a Queen, probably. They do have the +3 attack, mind you, which is pretty great. And versus these Hydras, who do have the +3 attack as well. And you know what? Stalker Immortal, pretty good versus Hydra, especially in these numbers. But that's it. That is your good game. And Rogue ties the series up. 1-1 here on Lost and Found. Resources lost could not be more even for a 20-minute game. 33,000 for ShoWTimE and 34,000 for Rogue. Just amazing use of free units here by Rogue. He kept his Swarm hosts alive pretty well. I want to say he lost a couple throughout the game, but he was always keeping them on the move, making them not able to be targeted all that well. The Broodlords died because they're slow, and they are hard to defend in a lot of situations, but the Broodlords did a ton of work before they went out there too. Storm was good. Archons were good. I like what we saw here from ShoWTimE. He never was able to get the Tempest group up. If he had the Tempest group up and the Stalker group up to deal with the Broodlords, I think he would have had a much different game, but just too many Hydras on the ground, too many Lings on the ground. Rogue using every tool and weapon in the Zerg arsenal to get that win there was just super impressive for him, and that's how he tied it up. So let's come back. Let's see what Game 3, deciding Game 3 is going to be between these players, and stick with it. Game 3 is going to be on Acid Plant between these two players. Bottom right, the red Protoss player, ShoWTimE, and top left, we have the blue Zerg, Rogue. Why is it that red is most often Protoss and blue is most often Zerg in this matchup? I kind of feel like that's the case. I don't know. That's a question for the philosophers as far as I am concerned. All right, one more plug for this cast. If you're not, if you haven't figured out that I have a Patreon page, it's patreon.com/FalconPaladin. For as little as $1 a month, you can have a bonus StarCraft2 cast. And I'm going to go ahead and do some bonus Brood War casts as well. Team games, games involving me and Samacron. It's going to be great, you guys. Okay, so I don't know. ShoWTimE just playing it standard here. Just playing it standard, throwing out a gateway at his front. Probe scouting. Hatch first here from Rogue. You will not see Rogue go for cheese in any situation ever. Rogue is the most standard player I have ever seen. But I don't know. I kind of feel like Zerg is just being benefited a lot from playing standard. There's no reason. There's no reason not to go into the late game. Late game is where they're comfortable. Serral shows that, right? Serral shows it. Back when Protoss was favored in PvZ in the late game, you would see a lot of, you know, 1-2 base Roach Ravager builds. Well, I'm trying to remember if that Nurchio build was 1 base or 2 base. I want to say it was a 1 base. It was crazy, man. It was a crazy 1 base build. You showed up with Roaches and Ravagers at the front door. You knocked right on the front door for Protoss, and they were like, ah! And they usually died, is what happened. But this is a third hatch, sub 2 minutes from Rogue. Who needs queens? Who needs multiple queens? Who needs speed this early? Let's just go for a third hatch. We can get those other upgrades later, get those queens later. No big deal at all. Got my Overlord scouting. I see an Adept on the way. I see the expansion coming in. Going to pull back to my little perch and stay completely invisible there for the time being. Actually, he's not even bothering to go on the perch. He's just like, hey, that's a stalker. I can hide if I need to, but I really don't want to know what this is. Oh, he is pulling in. Pulling into his spot there. So Adept pushing out, and there are some Lings on the way. Queens are popping, though. I mean, that queen at the natural base is ready to go. There is still not a queen in the main base. There we go. Finally getting one. Actually, wait up. Is he supply blocked? I think Rogue was a little supply blocked for a second there, which is hilarious. Man, it happens to the best of us, as it turns out. What is this Probe doing? Probe, throw up tech, man. Throw up some tech. I would love it. Zergling comes in. Adept shades in and says, no lair, no second gas, cancel. That's it. That's all he was looking for. Probe just trying to get home without getting killed by Zerglings, and he's doing a pretty good job of it. Once again, Stargate opening with a Phoenix from ShoWTimE. This could be another Oracle follow-up, though I don't know the Oracle did a whole lot of damage. It was really mostly the Phoenix in the early stages of the last game that really made things happen for ShoWTimE. And it is an Oracle. So the Oracle's name is going to be First. The collective data of all the comments with the single word first stored in the core of this Oracle. So the collective data of all the comments with a single word first is stored in this Oracle's database. And really, that it's just first, right? It's just first 1,000 times. How many of my videos have a comment that is first? I want to say most of them. And I want to say, I mean, I put out 2,000 plus videos, so yeah, 1,000 plus. Sounds about right. Ooh, it's another Stargate again. So I think we're going to see more of the Stargate stuff, more of this Phoenix stuff out of ShoWTimE. Spore Crawler on the way inside the main base. The natural base doesn't have a Spore yet. But it has 2 queens, which is almost good enough. I don't know. Main base is usually where we're going to swing in if we're a Protoss player in this situation. And here we go. Goodbye. Well, I don't think anything's going to necessarily die here. Maybe a drone. 2 drones do go down. Taking some hull damage is our Oracle first. And getting on out of there with our friend, the Phoenix. Ling's trying to see if anything comes out between these 2 bases, if there's a ninja at all. Again, look at this Overlord Zergling spread along this right side. Rogue knows everything that's over there. He hasn't really paid attention to these sections of the map. He's blind here, but that's okay. He sees 4 Adepts come out and says, ah, this is a lot of Adepts. So we're going to work on Resonating Glaives. It is a Twilight Council. It's very possible that is what we might see out of ShoWTimE. But Spore Crawlers coming in again, recognizing the Phoenix threat. There are already 3 of them. There are 2 more on the way, and setting up for third base. There's the warp in by ShoWTimE. Handful of Adepts and an Oracle can hold off a surprising number of Zerglings. And even if they can't hold it off, Rogue would have to commit so many Lings to that to shut it down that it would put it behind economically. Right? Even if he killed this third base, he'd have to, like, cut so many workers, it just wouldn't be worth it for him. And it is Resonating Glaives. Indeed it is. Out of ShoWTimE with a shield battery, with the third base. And I kind of like it. I kind of like Adepts with Resonating Glaives against Zerg. If they go blind Hydra, especially in response to this Phoenix player, Resonating Glaive Adepts are somehow incredible at that point. Really, really good at that point, especially if they have equal numbers to the Hydras or somewhere close to it. It is a Hydralisk Den, but we have some early Roaches from Rogue. He recognizes the threat of Adepts and says, yeah, we really want some Rogues to deal, or some Rogues. We really want some Roaches to deal with that, if at all possible. Roaches rolling on up. Phoenix trying to find somewhere to attack, but the queen count is enough to shove them away. Creep spread looking pretty good from Rogue. His creep spread isn't the best in the business, but it's always very good. Don't have any complaints. Holy smokes, what is this Roach attack? Roach is like, you know what? I'm just going to show up with a million Roaches. How does that sound? Well, the Oracle says, first, I'm going to try to kill you guys, which is hard to do because you have a lot of HP. And sure, my Pulsar Beam hurts, but it just takes a long time to kill Roaches. That's a good lift. Wow, that's a lot of dead Roach there. Corpses falling on top of Adepts. So that, I think that was a fair trade. I think ShoWTimE is definitely ahead at this point. It is 48 to 22 army supply. Holy cannoli. 48 to 22 army supply. 71 to 60 workers. ShoWTimE is not that down in worker count, and his army supply is insane. That said, fourth base is on the way from Rogue. I think we can get some work done here for Rogue. He's going to be okay. 11 Hydras in production. Remember what I said about Hydra versus these Resonating Glaives Adepts? What are the upgrades on them? They don't have +1 attack, but they do have their Resonating Glaives getting right on in here, and wha-bam. A lot of Overlords kind of messing with our vision here, but that is 5 drones down. Some of them are trying to kill the Spore, which is weird. Hydra's popping out, taking that bonus extra damage here, but Roach Hydra is the combination that you need. He wants to kill the Hydras first, and then shade out. Oh, these Hydras. Again, Adept's doing very well here, trading against these Hydralisks. Excellent job. Roaches are showing up, so the Adepts are in trouble, but the Hydra count is down to almost nothing. Yeah, 0 Hydras on the ground, but Roaches are going to be the answer from Rogue. Lifting and killing a queen there. 19 drones have been killed. It is 70 to 52 workers. 44 to 40 army supply, but look at this counterattack of Roaches. Rogue says, I got to get something done with these. I can't sit back with these Roaches. I need to kill something. ShoWTimE has invested a lot into those Adepts, and Adepts trade horribly versus Maroch. So he's going to go ahead and try to kill this third base. Immortal production has begun. Like, ShoWTimE is not an idiot. He's got 2 Immortals with a couple more on the way. And you know what? That's actually enough to make the Roaches go home. That's amazing. That's all it took. You see the 2 Immortals, and the Roaches are like, ah! I mean, I know there are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 of us, but we don't really have any upgrades, and Immortals just tear through us like fire through butter. Does that make any sense? I don't know if it does. Phoenix trying to kill some more drones over here. We have Warp Prism trying to do stuff, but there's already a little contingent of Lings and Roaches in the main base to make sure that does not actually happen. Working on Storm is ShoWTimE, our German Protoss player. Oh, there's a dead Hydra. There's another dead Hydra, actually. And losing a Phoenix because he wasn't paying attention there. Fourth base on the way from ShoWTimE. He's looking okay, you guys. It is 70 to 70 workers. Rogue has recovered from losing how many drones, Falcon? Well, it's 33. I'm glad you asked. 33 workers. So Zerg players, keep this in mind. You can lose a whole ton of workers to early attacks from Adepts and Phoenix, but if you're on a good number of bases, you don't lose those, you don't lose too many queens, you keep your NJAX up, you can recover and be just fine after that, as long as you don't lose too many, okay? Don't just be like, yeah, kill all you want, I can recover from this. Like, try to stop it, but if you lose a lot, don't just GG out, okay? Rogue didn't GG out there. He's fine. He's fine economically right now, but this is a pretty scary Mortal Sentry High Templar push from ShoWTimE. Where are the High Templar, and why aren't they coming in? There they are. Now they're coming in here. The sentry count is not as high as we saw in game number 1, where we did see the win. And I don't think there were any hiders out either for Rogue in that last game. It was just Roach Ravager. Trying to get some more stuff done here in the main base, but again, that Roach Ling group is just doing too much stuff. Too much stuff. Those Lings cannot stand. They don't have any upgrades at all for attack or carapace. They're not going to stand against any number of Zealots, especially if the Zealots happen to have the +1. And again, a warp in shoos them away. So good job by ShoWTimE. He's just always been so on the nose with base defense, with recognizing what's going on with these units, not throwing away units unnecessarily. I think he might have lost his warp prison, though, you guys. Wait. No. Oh, it's way up here. You can't even see it on the mini-map. You can't even see that on the mini-map. It's so far up. That's amazing. Killing some creep. Just being, again, fairly conservative. Another Zealot warp in. Those Lings just get eaten up. Eaten up alive. And actually, Zealots doing pretty well against these Roaches. Roaches are not being microed particularly well. Roach down, Roach down. Sure, Zealots are dying, but this is exactly, I think, what ShoWTimE wants. And you know what? It's working out. The Roaches are dying. I wonder if that's Rogue freeing up supply, though. He is going for 14 more Swarm Hosts. Are you kidding me? 14 more Swarm Hosts? Oh, this is going to be hard. This is going to be hard to deal with. All right, Storms on the right side. Storms on the top side. Dodging a little bit. Locust coming in. And Locust at 11 is just such a bad news bear. Zealots wandering into this third base and doing some work, actually. Immortals killing everything. If the Immortals can get on top of the Swarm Host, this will be an amazing position for ShoWTimE to be in. But we got more Locusts coming in all the time, really not leaving any room for the Immortals to dodge in. But you know what? They did take down the 4th hatch, and that is your good game. And ShoWTimE is your winner in this best of 3 series, taking down Rogue 2-1. Wow. Wow. Way to represent Protoss everywhere, ShoWTimE. Incredible display from him. I gotta be honest, I did not expect this outcome. I saw a little 3-game series between these players, and I said, yeah, Rogue will probably win it. I mean, I'll give ShoWTimE a good chance to win 1 game, but dang, he won this game. Ends up taking it 2-1 at Homestory Cup. What a ShoWTimE. If he's not one of your favorite Protoss players in the world, he needs to be. You got to start rooting for this guy. He's been playing for so long. He's so good at this game. And look at him going for Carrier behind this. Carrier behind this. Look at all this invested in Swarm Host for Rogue. Look at the Roaches. He does have a Spire, or he did have a Spire. Did he lose his Spire? Hold up. Where was his Spire? He had one, or he was making one. Production tab, Roaches, Structures tab. No Spire. He must have lost it. There must have been this Warp Prism. Maybe sniped it. But I think it was just more than this attack. I think he lost his Spire. I think he was aware of the Carrier transition. He wasn't. I don't know, man. Rogue just the game sense. He knew losing this base was a problem. He was down 104 to 67 in army supply at the 11-minute mark. It's not good. He had 12 Swarm Hosts, 5 Roaches, and 10 Lings. That's it. And the Swarm Host, the cooldown was far. It was far in the future. He just launched a bunch. So losing this base was likely. He'd lost a ton of drones over here at the 3rd. It was 61 workers to 74. Just masterful display by ShoWTimE, and he gets the win. Way to go. Hope your Protoss players are happy about that, because I am. I'm honestly happy to see ShoWTimE do this well against, again, the 2017 BlizzCon champion. This is not some schlub player, some schlub Zerg. No, this is Rogue. And he just got taken down. So great job. Great job by ShoWTimE. And that's going to be it from me. So this has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void and your Sunday series. Go ahead and hit that like button. Hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /FalconPaladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.